Are we feeding fear or feeding faith? We have some flowers on our back deck. I have a drip line set up for them. And the other day I noticed that the drip line had been accidentally knocked out. And fortunately, not too much time had gone by. Otherwise, they would have dried up. Without water, they would have died. So what we feed grows. If we don't feed it, if we starve it, it dies. So, what are you feeding? Are you feeding your fear or are you feeding your faith? We tend to be a people who fear. The older I get, the more I realize there is more to fear. So the more intentional I have to be about feeding faith and not fear. This propensity towards worry, towards anxiety, towards being up at night worrying about things is why the Bible most often repeated phrase is fear not. At least one of the most often repeated phrases is fear not. Some say that's repeated 365 times in the Bible. I know fear is repeated over 500 times, the word fear. But fear not. God knows we need to be constantly reminded that in Him we need not fear. David, the psalmist, was fearful for his life. He was in the hands of the Philistines. They were his enemies. He legitimately had a reason to fear for his own life. And yet he writes out of this situation in Psalm 56, he says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose words I praise. In God I trust, and I am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" You see, David decided to feed his faith. So, where are you this morning? Where are you this morning? Fear was crouching at David's door, ready to eat him alive, and frankly, for good reason. And yet David chose to trust God. So may you today, as you go through this day, may you choose to trust in God. No matter what your situation might be, no matter how dire it might seem, may you choose to trust that God is with you and that nothing has caught God by surprise and that He holds you in His hands and that He walks with you even through the valley of the shadow of death. So this day and every day, choose faith over fear.